Greetings. This is Astrologer Pam Younghans, and here is my North Point Astrology Journal for the week of June 3rd to 9th, 2024. As the month of June gets underway, solar flare activity is escalating once again. In the past 48 hours at the time of this writing on Sunday, June 2nd, the Sun has erupted with three X-class solar flares, the strongest magnitude, three moderate M-class flares, and more than 30 minor C-class flares. Solar flares can affect us on physical, emotional, and mental levels, so having many high magnitude eruptions within a short period could feel overwhelming for some. Those people who are most sensitive to solar flares may be feeling fatigue, having trouble sleeping, experiencing unexplained waves of emotions, and dealing with a wide variety of unusual physical symptoms, some of which are reoccurrences of old injuries or conditions. On a metaphysical level, solar flares activate a process of detoxification. As the energies encounter a place within our physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual bodies that is in need of healing or contains a block, we can experience symptoms as the energy moves through that area. The blocks or scars may be from this lifetime or from other lifetimes. Sometimes we may experience them as a part of our soul's agreement to do healing and clearing work on behalf of the collective. As we move through solar maximum this year and work with elevated solar flare activity, be sure to increase your fluid intake, especially fluids that contain electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, chloride, etc. Solar activity is very drying, as is the detox process, and our brains and bodies need extra water and minerals to function well. Drinking electrolyte fluids such as coconut water or minerally enhanced pure water can help ease many of the wide variety of symptoms we may encounter. Symptoms reported this past week include stumble walk, lack of energy, especially in the legs, drunken sailor walk, falling asleep at unusual times, sleeping long hours but still feeling tired or not sleeping much at all, odd dreams, ringing or buzzing inside the head, digestive issues, appetite changes, dry eyes and mouth, insatiable thirst, not being able to get warm or sudden hot flashes, the return of old pains and conditions, unexplained sorrow, anxiety or sudden bouts of fear, especially at night, brain fog, and memory changes. Besides increasing fluids, here are some other recommendations for navigating times of heightened solar flare activity. Ask your body what it most needs and listen to its responses. Give yourself extra rest periods and nap times, especially if you are having trouble sleeping through the night. Connect with nature as much as possible and ground your energy into Mother Earth on a regular basis. Take time to breathe, slowly and consciously. Engage in physical movement such as easy walks or more strenuous exercise if your body requires, to keep the energy moving through places where it might get stuck. Be gentle with yourself and kind to others. We are all receiving and reacting to the amplified energies, whether or not it registers on a conscious level. Today, June 2nd, the harmonious trine between visionary Jupiter in Gemini and socially conscious Pluto in Aquarius is exact to the degree. This aspect magnifies the need for social change, but also strengthens hope in a new, more enlightened humanity. Under its influence, we may feel especially passionate and determined about a new course of action or personal growth path. Progress in these areas is greatly facilitated throughout the first 2 weeks of the month. Mars enters comfort-seeking Taurus this week, encouraging us to slow down and simplify our lives. However, with the red planet exactly square dynamic Pluto on June 11th, it is abundantly clear that major shifts are underway and that life will necessarily be more complex than we might prefer. Themes of home and family are emphasized at the solstice on June 20th, when the Sun enters nurturing Cancer. But the Capricorn full moon on June 21st requires that we maintain objectivity and boundaries even while attending to emotional needs or caring for loved ones. Serious conversations and decisions are likely the last week of the month, with Saturn stationing retrograde on June 29th. Since the ringed planet is in inspirational Pisces, a good balance of reason and intuition is required when we engage in any long term planning. While Saturn travels backward, we are advised to complete unfinished business that could interfere with our long term success. There is more support for taking on new responsibilities and initiating a new business enterprise after Saturn goes direct on November 15th. We begin a new lunar cycle at 5:37 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time this Thursday, June 6th, when the Sun and Moon align at 16 degrees 17 minutes of Gemini. A new moon in the sign of the Twins always increases mental activity and the desire to communicate. This particular lunation, which is at the same degree as sociable Venus, even more strongly emphasizes our connections with others. While we may be drawn to initiate a relationship, an investment, or a creative project under the influence of this Venusian new moon, it is important to note that Venus, the Sun, and the Moon are all in challenging aspect to Saturn. These Saturn squares mean that there are likely to be delays and some frustrations in fulfilling our plans in the areas of romance, finance, or artistry. If we meet with obstacles as the new lunar cycle begins, it may be helpful to remember that as Father Time, Saturn has very good reasons for what we may perceive as setbacks. If the pace of progress is slower than we would like, it is because the cosmos is busy lining things up for our best success. Important variables are not yet in place, and we would likely not achieve our goals if we were to go full speed ahead right now. Saturn also teaches us patience and discipline, which are essential ingredients in any long-term endeavor. Here are my brief interpretations of this week's most important planetary aspects. On Monday, Mercury enters Gemini. Mercury is moving very quickly now and will be in expressive Gemini for only 2 weeks, from June 3rd to 17th. During this time, people are especially interactive and communicative. Our minds are eager to learn, and we may seek out and voraciously absorb new information. However, nervous energy is heightened while Mercury is in Gemini, and our thinking can be a bit scattered due to being pulled in so many directions. However, also on Monday, Mercury is trine Pluto. This aspect helps us focus on one specific subject and to delve more deeply into it. Conversations are more profound, and people can be more forthright than usual. There is a desire to know the truth and to find out what is going on beneath the surface. On Tuesday, Mercury is conjunct Jupiter. The urge to speak our minds and share our beliefs is very strong today. The flow of information can be torrential, perhaps resulting in overload. Be sure to take good care of your nervous system with this aspect. Also on Tuesday, the Sun is conjunct Venus. Relationships are a high priority today, and we are drawn to reach out to others. There is boredom with usual routines, causing us to seek out new experiences with loved ones. There are no major aspects exact on Wednesday. Thursday is the day of the new moon. The Sun and Moon align in Gemini at 5:37 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. With the new moon conjunct Venus, square Saturn, and sesquiquadrate Pluto, we may encounter relationship or financial challenges. These problems may be due to secrets or hidden information that have recently come to light. Also on Thursday, Mercury is semisquare Chiron. It may be hard to communicate clearly today due to a fear that we will not be able to express ourselves or that others will not understand us. And the Sun is exactly sesquiquadrate Pluto on Thursday. This aspect can manifest in verbal power struggles, accusations, name-calling, and blame games. There are no major aspects exact on Friday. On Saturday, Venus is exactly square Saturn. William Shakespeare may have had a Venus-Saturn square in mind when he wrote "The course of true love never did run smooth." Obstacles could arise today in either relationship or financial matters, requiring us to take a step back and reassess our options. Also on Saturday, Mercury is semisquare Eris. Controversies may be hard to avoid today, since people are especially vocal and blunt. And Mars enters Taurus on Saturday. While Mars is in the sign of the Bull from June 8th to July 20th, we tend to be more determined and persistent in our actions. However, we may also be more set in our ways and resistant to change or input from others. Sunday is the day that the Sun is exactly square Saturn. Our ability to communicate is delayed or blocked with this aspect. It may be hard to reach a meeting of the minds. If your birthday is this week, relationships and communications are in the spotlight for you this year. You could be drawn to initiate a writing project or to offer a new class, and your interactions with friends and loved ones play a major role in your decisions. However, there are lessons to be learned in these areas, so you may experience delays or setbacks. These will teach you to be more patient, mature, and wise in your word selection and in your choice of companions. The effort you put into planning and refining will be rewarded and bear fruit over time. This is Astrologer Pam Younghans wishing you an insightful week. Thank you for being with me on this journey.
We hope that you have enjoyed this article. For over 30 years, we at Inner Self have sought to encourage new attitudes and new possibilities. For more inspiration, visit us at innerself.com. Thank you. Visit the Inner Self Market for new attitudes and new possibilities. You'll find inspiring books, wonderful music CDs, audiobooks, card decks, candles, jewelry, gifts, all kinds of wonderful things. Visit us at market.innerself.com.